YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. We're heading into week 11 of the NFL. We got updated power rankings like we do every single Tuesday. Tuesday nights, we got weekly picks, score predictions Wednesday, and all kinds of videos. Most of you guys know the schedule. Even in the offseason, we got full free agency and NFL draft coverage. So if you're new, please subscribe. We much appreciate it. We have a Twitter, constantly talking NFL on there. Talking during pretty much every game live. We have an Instagram, podcast, Patreon link in the description, in the comments, every video for anything that you may need there. Something to keep in mind for these power rankings, they're not predictions. We update them every week. I think I mention that every week, but there's always new people, so I got to mention that. Patreon has a bunch of extra content, junior score predictions every week, my bets of the week for NFL and college football. Updated playoff predictions every single week. A lot of changes with those and plenty more. Link down below. Really appreciate the support. A lot of people signing up with that. Thank you. Power rankings. The Jets are still at the bottom, week 11 here. No surprise. They almost squeaked one out last week against the Patriots, but yeah, I mean, it's not really a surprise here. Jags are still at 31. We kind of ripped through the bottom part because everything's staying the same here up until this point. Washington had a good little comeback. They started off pretty bad against the Lions. They had that good little comeback going. So they have flashes, but still find themselves down here at the bottom. So we're through 4 teams. We already got 2 NFC East teams. That's not good. That's not good at all for them. 28 Texans down 1. Very disappointing season. Disappointing game against the Browns. You know, surprisingly they held the Browns to 10 points. You know, didn't let them throw too well, but they did let them run a lot, run the clock, and that kind of forced that. So maybe they didn't play as well on defense as the score may say, but they held them to 10 points. The offense has got to do better, though, so they continue to disappoint in different ways. They're down to 28. There's a lot of teams that, based on their performances recently, I want to move them down more, but because there's so many teams like that, they end up moving down not that much because you can't really have them, a certain team, move down below another team that's the same way. So we're going to see a lot of that this week. Bengals down 6 spots. You know, they moved down quite a bit. They moved up because of that Titans win. They were kind of holding on to that, but bye week and then a disastrous game against, a much better team than the Steelers, but yeah, not a good game at all. So yeah, they're deserving to move down to 27 here. 26, Chargers down 1 spot. You know, they put up somewhat of a fight, came back a little bit against the Dolphins, but Dolphins had main control there, a little bit more of a defensive test for them. Well, going against a better defense, I should say, a test for their offense. And it, it wasn't pretty, but it wasn't terrible. But yeah, they're down 1 spot. You know, it's just a team that but I think I've been saying it every week. You know, you expect them to have more wins, but they got to go out and get those wins to move up in the power rankings, obviously. Broncos down 2 spots. Another one of those teams I kind of want to move down further than this, but, can you really move them down, below these other teams? Drew Lock playing very poorly. They had chances, even though that scoreline may say they got their ass beat, and they kind of did, but they actually had chances to take the lead or stay in the game or even win the game, perhaps. They just can't close it out. So, yeah, they've been very disappointing. Eagles down 6 spots. Talk about disappointing. So we have 3 NFC East teams already up by 24, through 24 here. I mean, extremely disappointing as the Giants. I talked about in the recap, looking ahead to the game, I was thinking, the Giants can get this one, but then I'm like, no, the Eagles on the bye week, they already know what the Giants are about. They get this extra time to game plan for something they know, and a little bit of rest, get healthy, and they still lost. Extremely disappointing. That's an understatement there. So they're down 6 spots to 24. 23, the Giants. So the final NFC East team. The Giants are first place in terms of the power rankings in the NFC East. A team that probably should have more wins, but they got to go out and finish games and win, and they've been doing that. They've been limiting the turnovers, of course, and they've been winning games. That's an impressive win against the Eagles. They got to keep on going. Schedule's really not that easy going forward. They do have a bye week this week. I'm about to say that's good. I don't know if that's good because they're starting to get hot right now. I don't know if they want that, but up 5 spots, number 23. They've been hanging out at the bottom of these power rankings all year, so that's fantastic for them. Panthers 22. Panthers are on a major losing streak, and usually that big of a losing streak makes you fall down in my power rankings, but it's tough to move them below any of these other teams. And, at this point of the year, we there's really no more assuming. We have identities on team. I feel comfortable that the Panthers are better, even though they're on a losing streak, are better than these other teams below them, and those other teams have really been losing for the most part as well anyways, so it's tough to have them ahead of the Panthers. But yeah, they're on a pretty disappointing losing streak right now. Winnable game against the Lions this week. We'll see if they can pull it off. Bears are down one spot. Another team, the way their offense is playing, 32. I would rank them 32 in offense. They're that bad. With that being said, you almost want to move them down further because they're on the losing streak. They're so terrible on offense, but yeah, it's very tough to move them down below some of these other teams. So it might be surprising if you just think about the Bears, the way they've been playing down one spot. They deserve to move down more than that, but really got to look at what's going on around them. So they're at 21, but they've been extremely disappointing. They have a bye week, so I think the bye weeks come at the right time. Maybe a week too late, maybe, but I guess, after we're through that week, it's good to have it now because there's some guys beat up. Obviously, quite a few guys beat up. So it's a good time, I suppose. They got to get ready for the Packers after that, though. 20, the Lions up 6 spots. Want to see them stay consistent, but they get a win against Washington. I didn't like that they allowed the Washington football team to come back, but most of this game, the Lions actually looked pretty dominant. I just wish they can go out and finish games. They looked like a really good team. I know it's Washington, but Washington's got a pretty good defense as well. They're without Kenny Galladay, using Swift, throwing the ball downfield. Defensively, they look dominant through like 3 quarters pretty much in this game, and I just wish they would finish, So there are impressive things, even though there's the negative letting them come back, but they did get the win on top of other teams losing, a lot of these teams losing. So they're up 6 spots, maybe +6 doesn't look right against the Lions. Are they deserving to move up 6 spots? If you look at it that way, again, yeah, maybe not, but look at these other teams below them. They definitely got to move ahead of them. 19, the Niners, starting to lose a bit because who's out, but based on what's going around them, it's just not much room to move them down. They played pretty well defensively in this game against the Saints team. You thought it would have been a little easier for the Saints to beat them up. I guess not in the red zone. They didn't play too great, but field position, special teams, that didn't help them. Offense moved the ball early, but other than that, that didn't help them. But they put up somewhat of a fight in that game, but tough to move them down for what's going on around them. 18, the Falcons down 2. The Falcons been hot. They had a bye week, so they're down 2 just because 2 other teams had to move up. That's basically what it is there. So really nothing on them. Patriots up 7 spots. Another win. A come-from-behind win against the Jets. I said it. Felt like they got some momentum, some confidence back after that. And then they go and beat the Ravens in a downpour where the tougher team is going to win. The Patriots get the job done. Up 7 spots. They're back in the hunt for the playoffs. So that's impressive. They're getting things going there. Running game's really getting going. 16, the Vikings up 1 spot. They're on a streak, so you may say Vikings probably should move up more than 1 spot because they're streaking. But again, another situation where it's tough to move them. It's very tough to move them ahead of the 15 other teams. But they're up. They're up 1 spot here, onto 16. So. They're kind of in the ballpark with the Patriots and the Falcons there as well. So we'll see if those teams continue to roll. Vikings got the Cowboys next. Yeah, they should be able to continue to go, but we'll see. You never know with them. You never know with those guys. 15, the Browns are going to stay put. They got to win against the Texans. Good defensive performance and a really good rushing performance. They ran the clock, won the game pretty much. But 15, not really enough to move them up. 14, the Seahawks down a whopping 6 spots. It's very strange to see the Seattle Seahawks at number 14, but that's where they are right now. They've lost 3 out of the last 4. They're playing very poor on defense and they're playing worse on offense. Russell Wilson's not playing his game. They got beat up by those Rams. Now they got a big game against the Cardinals on Thursday night. That's a huge game, but based on other teams winning, other teams looking better than them recently and them disappointing. And, at this time you see they start losing, you kind of go back, look at their resume. They don't have the best resume either. So, they got to start winning these big games. They're not winning the big games. They're not winning them. They have to start winning them. They have to play better on defense. Russell Wilson's got to pick it up a little bit. I'm not really too worried about him. Chris Carson needs to get back. He's very important to that team. They'll be better with him back. We'll see if he's back in time for Thursday Night Football. Still on the fence about that game. 13, the Titans down a whopping 8 spots. 8 spots. They've lost 3 out of the last 4 as well. They started 5-0. You see how important Taylor Lewan is. But at the same time, because he's out now, he's been out. The record with and without him pretty ridiculous. At the same time, I don't really have a problem with their offense though. It's not as good obviously without Taylor Lewan, but it's still performing, I think. Maybe not they were performing at a pretty elite level, I thought early, so they're not there, but they're not that far off, The defense is a problem. It's a big problem. I can't believe how bad these corners are playing right now. The pass rush, you kind of wonder, how come the Titans can't get any pressure when you go back and watch every snap for the most part? It's really not on them. They could be better, but it's not. The ball is coming out so quick because these guys are playing 10, 12 yards off the ball. Short yard situation, they're playing 7 to 8 yards off the ball. It is ridiculous. The defense and now the special teams in that Colts game really killing the Titans, and they're looking sloppy. They're not looking good recently. They're down a whopping 8 spots because of that. Still 13 though, because they've shown us that they could be a pretty good team, but they got to pick it. It's a big game against the Ravens this week. Huge game. 12, the Rams up 2 spots. It's a statement win. You almost think you can move up further for this, but they're back and forth. The Rams get the statement win, and they lose a game they probably shouldn't lose, and they get beat up pretty bad in those games. So back and forth. So you can't make them soar up until they get consistent. Also, keep in mind what's going on ahead of them. Is it enough to move the Rams ahead? I like the Rams, though. I've been saying it's a sneaky team. Very balanced. Very balanced. They can play on both sides of the ball. Love this defense. They're really getting these pass rushers going. Leonard Floyd, Terrell Lewis, fantastic. Whitworth got hurt. That's huge. Left tackle. Taylor Rapp, who I'm a big fan of, he's hurt now too, so that could be tough. They play the Buccaneers Monday night. It should be a heck of a game. I was kind of I like the way the Rams match up with them. So I was kind of on the Rams train for that game, thinking, early on. But, those injuries could be the difference. So another game, I'm telling you, we got our picks tonight. This week is the hardest week to pick. It is the hardest week to pick. There's some crazy games, in my opinion. We'll see, though. So the Rams, impressive win against the Seattle Seahawks. Raiders up 1 spot. They dominate the Broncos for the most part, as expected. This team's looking pretty good right now. You kind of worry about their defense. Are they just an offensive team? But their defense has showed up, over the last couple weeks as well. So that's good to see as well. But they're going to be up 1 spot here to number 11. Number 10 is going to be the Colts, up 3 spots. Statement win against the Titans. Another one like the Rams. You start to get on the Colts, on the train of the Colts. This team's looking good. They're better than we expected. And then they kind of just lose that statement game. I think the statement games, we got Browns, Ravens, Titans. They're 1 and 2 in those, so they got a bunch more coming up. Let's see them get that. Let's see them stay consistent. I trust their defense, that's for sure. They're looking good. That's a big-time win against the Titans, though. Huge win in Tennessee for the AFC South. They'll play the Packers, and they'll play the Titans again. So some big games I can't wait for the Colts there. They're up, and they're in the top 10 again. That's fantastic. 9, the Buccaneers up 2 spots. I don't really know what to do with the Buccaneers, to be quite honest. Another one. 1 week they look like the top team in football, maybe. Really, a top 3 team in football. Next week, you got the Saints game. They do that to you, and then they put up 46 points on the Panthers. I'm starting to think they only look that great, against defenses that are average or below average. So I'm starting to get concerned with that category. But at the end of the day, they put up 46 points. They had a pretty good win against the Panthers. Show they can win throwing the ball, win running the ball there. But they got a big game against the Rams. So here's where you prove to me, because I can't move you up more than this unless you prove to me you can play against these defenses. So I'm excited for that one on Monday night. Buccaneers number 9 for right now. 8, the Dolphins are in the top tier of teams here. The top 8. Number 8, the Miami Dolphins, pretty wild. This defense, arguably the best in football. There's a couple you can debate that. I think we're all on board. The Steelers are probably number 1. And then you got the Dolphins, you got the Rams. Just top of my head, you got the Ravens as well. But teams like the Dolphins and the Rams, I'm really impressed with those defenses. And they just it's a football team. They make plays. And any unit can make plays at any given time. Offense is looking better. I think they got a little more juice in them. They can give a little more, actually. And that's kind of a good thing. I think there's still more in the tank there for the offense, and they can continue to improve. And they got some statement wins. They're up to number 8. That's big time there. That's big time for them. Definitely a team that can sneak into the playoffs and be pretty sneaky once they get in there. They got to get the job done first, though. 7, Ravens down 3 spots. You thought I could think about moving them down further because it's a disappointing loss against the Patriots, but still a good team, both sides of the ball at any given time, but they have been a little sloppy on offense. They definitely got to be better. But that was a tough game, in New England, downpour. Patriots had to play in the downpour as well. But they are going to move down 3 spots. A huge game, 7 versus 13, Ravens versus Titans. See, the Titans beat the Ravens in the playoffs last year. The Titans had a great game plan for the Ravens, but Dean P is gone. Vrabel kind of running the defense among others. The defense looks way worse for the Titans, but the Ravens' offense looks worse. So it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different in that playoff game. And stock's kind of down for both those teams. So that's a huge game. 6, the Bills, they're gonna stay put. I don't see any reason to move them down. They've been playing pretty good ball. They played pretty good ball against the Cardinals. They lost on a Hail Mary. That plays a small part. At the end of the day, they lost, but they played the Cardinals well, and they've been playing good ball. They've been really picking it up. Beating the Seahawks was still a statement win. I think they showed improvement since that slump they went in on both sides of the ball. So they're going to be at 6. The Ravens losing kind of helped them not move down. I just don't see any reason to move them down further than that. 5 is the Cardinals, who beat the Bills. They're up 5 spots. It was tough because they did lose to the Dolphins a week ago. But the Cardinals they've been having some statement wins. This big win against the Bills. That was the game of the week. That was a huge game. And they went in and won that game. They won on a Hail Mary, but I thought they outplayed them most of the game. The Bills did have a pretty good lead. And the Cardinals really came back, did what was working, used Kyler Murray a little more, and then when they had to, they went out and executed. But then they had the game wrapped up like 3 different times, and they couldn't close it out. That's kind of a negative, but that kind of shows they kind of outplayed them, and they should have won the game. It really shouldn't have come down to the Hail Mary. The Bills did execute, score, and you could definitely debate either team should have or would have won the game or whatever. They could have won the game. End of the day, Cardinals statement win, moving up 5 spots. They have quite a few statement wins this year. 5 versus 14, Cardinals versus Seahawks, Thursday Night Football in Seattle. Can't wait. The Cardinals are a better matchup against the Seahawks. A better matchup doesn't always win. This one's going to be in Seattle. How will the Cardinals be after a dramatic win? Will Chris Carson be back? There's a couple guys beat up on a short week for the Cardinals as well. So a lot of key things to look out for. Cannot wait for that game Thursday night. So the Cardinals are in the top 5. 4, Packers up 3. Not the most impressive win. They won. They're starting to get consistent again, I suppose. They could be a little more consistent on offense. But yeah, they're getting back on track here. They got a huge game against the Colts. This week's going to be great. 4 versus 10. Packers, Colts, offense versus defense. I can't wait for that one as well. Packers back up to the number 4. What I do like, even though it's not the most impressive one, what I do like is their offense scores in the big moments. They can beat you, in the passing game. We already knew this. But at the end of the game, the pass rush coming alive when they absolutely have to, getting pressure, slowing them down. And I think they show up in right moments. For them, it's not going to be every single week, but that's something I like about the Packers there. They can show up in the perfect moments on both sides of the ball. So they're number 4. 3 Saints, 2 Chiefs, 1 Steelers. No changes there. Saints get a win against the Niners. Drew Brees did get hurt. Jameis Winston's going to take over for at least a couple games, but it's probably more than that. And that's going to be interesting because Jameis Winston, it's just like it's not really a Jameis Winston system. But that doesn't mean I don't think he can thrive or play well. It's just going to seem weird because it's not really a system. He wants to throw the ball downfield. It's going to be, do the Saints open it up? Do they let them take his shots downfield? They're playing the Falcons. The Falcons will take shots downfield. It's a team that you expect almost to score. So maybe they allow allow Jameis to do that. So it's going to be very fun to watch for sure. So 3 versus 18 this week. I don't know if they, I don't know how to say it. I guess they get a little worse without Drew Brees leading the way. There may be a little bit of an adjustment. But, I don't know if it's that much. I think they're still a very good team. Chiefs at 2. And then Steelers at 1. Steelers got they played the Bengals, but it was a pretty big win there. They didn't let up. They kept going in a dominant win on both sides of the ball. And, Steelers are still undefeated. They're still undefeated, and they can continue to do that for sure going forward looking at their schedule. There will be some tough ones coming up. But, so the top 3 didn't change. There's a lot of teams. You look at 4 through 14, I'd say, around that range. Throw the Browns in there as well. Those teams can really flip at any time, so they're in a tight battle, and that much teams. There's a big gap after in between the Browns and the Vikings, though. 15-16, that is a huge gap, I think. So the difference between 15 and 16 is pretty big. And the Vikings really threw the Bears 16 through 21, pretty much in the same range there. Panthers, Lions play each other this week, actually, so that actually could be a good game there for the battle in the 20s there. A lot of really good games that are toss-ups this week, so I can't wait to see what even myself when I pick, and then the other boys in tonight's picks. It's gonna be a big week. This is the best week of the year in my opinion. So can't wait for that. Hopefully you can join us for all these videos. That's the power rankings. We got this every Tuesday. Follow the Twitter. Smash that like button. Subscribe. Turn notifications on so you don't miss a thing. Be much appreciated if you can help us out. Really appreciate the support lately. That's gonna do it for this one though. Thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye.